Hello. Now we're going to do a chi-square test for association or independence. Some books call it association, some independence. You can call it either of the two, and people know what you're talking about. The null hypothesis in this test is always there is no association between the two categorical variables that you have. And keep in mind, again, for this test, the data has to come from a single SRS. And that's what distinguishes it from the homogeneity test. All right. Now this one asks, does having exclusive territory help a franchise succeed? So I took out a majority of the words in this problem, but what it's talking about is some franchises, businesses, have exclusive territory, meaning that nobody else can come in, start the same business in that territory. And they wanted to see if having exclusive territory had any relationship with whether they succeeded or not. So we start this off with a null hypothesis is that there is no relationship or association between exclusive territory and success of the business. So your alternative hypothesis is just that there is an association between exclusive territory and success of the business. So those we have our null and alternative hypothesis out of the way. Now we have to do our conditions. For our conditions, uh, this one, it doesn't say if the data comes from an SRS, so we just write that. It doesn't say if the data is from a random sample. Now we have to look at expected counts. Now to do expected counts, we take the column total times the row total over the total total. So I'm just going to make a quick matrix down here. I call this E of X, your expected matrix. So up here in the upper left, to get this expected count, I would take 142 times the row 123 over the total, which is 170. Now if I do that quick on my calculator, 142 times 123 divided by 170, I get 102.74. Now this next one, I would take, if I'm looking for this one, it would be 28 times 123 divided by 170 to get a value of 20.26. And then the last two, I got 142 times 47 over 170 and 28 times 47 over 170. So I'll just kick those out real quick on my calculator. 39.26. And finally, 7.74. So you have to show your expected count. And then once you have your expected count, all expected counts are greater than 5. So we can use our chi-square distribution. That's a quick, easy condition. So now we have calculations. And our calculations are the same. We take our observed minus expected squared over expected. So the equation is the sum of observed minus expected squared over expected. And we should say that this is a chi-squared test for association. Or you could say independence. Either of those would work. So now we just have to do the work. So go up to our table. Our observed is 108 minus this squared over this. 15 minus 20.26 squared over 20.26. 34 minus 39.26 squared over 39.26. And 13 minus 7.74 squared over 7.74. All right, so I paused this so you didn't have to watch me write all that stuff out. So I wrote it out, and that's your x squared, which approximates your chi-squared value. So your chi-squared value is 5.9111, and we can use chi-squared CDF, or you can look at your charts, but you'd get a p-value of 0.015. Now, when we interpret, we say we reject the null hypothesis because the p-value is below alpha of 0.05. So we have evidence that there is an association between exclusive territory and success of the business. All right, that's your chi-squared test for association or independence.